Rhod Gilbert on BBC Radio Wales.
If you're listening to this, you're listening to Rhod Gilbert's Best Bits. Some of the best bits of my Saturday morning radio show live on BBC Radio Wales. Welcome, it's 10... Is it? No, it's 11:07. The BBC Wales clock that the producers put in front of me is an hour out. Now then, who's on the show today? I can tell you because I'm sitting opposite them. It's Mr. Tom Wrigglesworth. Hopefully 700 100 110 is the number to ring. I don't know what about. Just ring up and you'll talk to the...
Captain Features is here, though, so there'll always be something to phone in about.
If you're a regular listener to this show, you will know that Tom, when he says Captain Features... There's not another character going to come in called Captain Features. Tom is referring to himself.
He's outside getting changed.
In his costume, with a big F on the front. Often mistaken. Captain Features, referring to himself, Tom Wrigglesworth, often, you know, whenever I do the show, whether from London here in my kitchen, I have a co-host... if they turn up, in the case of Barry Castagnola. And everyone's different. Everyone brings their own thing to the show. And one of the things you bring, Captain Features, is you always bring a nice little feature for us. Something we can really get our teeth into. I had one last week. It was a disaster.
What was it?
Last week's disaster was... just didn't take off at all. I was really disappointed. I think it was what's the best tiny little feeling in the world, because I cried emerging from a hangover, and it was the best feeling I've ever had, just being back to normal. That's all it was.
Sort of micro-emotion.
A micro-emotion. Yeah, see, you see Captain Features, you get it. Yeah. Listeners, nothing. Tom, you said you called yourself Captain Features. What is... you bring your own jingle. What is the little feature that you've got to tease?
Well, I'm never short of a feature,
listeners.
Rod. Really.
You're never short of a feature.
I will commence, if you like, by
I think you're going to have to, because at the moment all we've done is say how feature heavy you are. You're Captain Features. You're never short of features. Yeah. And yet we still haven't got one.
Which is turning into a feature in itself. How long have you said you are something? Offering no proof.
There we are. There's today's feature.
How long have you... I'm actually a really good plumber.
How long have you got away with it? Okay, what's your feature?
I'm in the middle of a Twitter storm.
Do you want to describe a Twitter storm just for the... Because, you know, Radio Wales listeners, many of them won't have heard of the internet.
It's not like the smog that came over the other day. It's in no way weather related. It is on social networking sites such as Twitter, where people...
Others are available, of course.
They're not, though. That's it.
They are, Tom. They just don't exist.
Either way, right? It was picked up a while ago that I have a passing resemblance to this very famous quarterback called Aaron Rodgers.
You look like a famous American quarterback called Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
somebody pointed this out on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. They saw me on some TV thing, and then he tweeted that, and it went boom.
It went global. A Twitter storm.
It went around North America, which in their eyes is global, isn't it? Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. Consequently, I then made a short video called "Aaron Rodgers, Where Do You Think You're From?" Which I shot while I was on tour in Yorkshire. And I played every character of this little film. At the end of it, I challenge Aaron Rodgers to swap jobs with this video. I say, right, you be a
Who's he a quarterback for, this Aaron Rodgers?
Green Bay Packers.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know them.
Go Packers, go.
Yeah.
Cheeseheads, that's what they nickname.
Yeah.
So I challenge him to be a stand-up for 5 minutes, if I be a quarterback for 5 minutes, right? And he's been on. Aaron Rodgers has been...
He's contacted you? His people have contacted your people?
No, he's just direct messaged me on Twitter.
Oh, that's what I meant, really.
Yeah. Well, with View, he said, who are your people, right? So anyway, we're not sure what's going to happen with all that yet, but...
So you reckon this might happen? You might... I think it'd be a lot easier for him to become...
Yeah, I'll break. I will just get destroyed.
I can't see you become... How old are you now?
37.
37.
Yeah, I'm not going to want to walk away from American football.
What do you
11
weigh?
stone.
11
See,
stone.
I'm just predicting every question. No, I don't.
How tall? You don't do any exercise?
No, well, I swim a bit.
Your only concession, as far as I can see, to
not
pro league top level fitness. You smoke e-cigarettes.
Yeah, that is exactly.
That's your training consists of not smoking normal fags.
Yes, that's pretty much my currency in this game. At least I don't smoke proper fags. I'm doomed,
but you may have to be a quarterback.
Yeah,
they wouldn't let you play. I don't think the fans would accept it.
They don't.
A lucky likey. That's not irreverent.
There's a lot of money at stake on these things. You're not going to let me rock on, are they?
Who's that 6'4", 11 stone?
Whoa, chicken leg freak that's just wobbled on.
So you might have to. That's amazing.
It'd be fun, isn't it? But
Is fun.
you had a doppelganger once, didn't you?
I haven't got a doppelganger. I've got a similar story, which I'm sure I've said on air. Apologies to any regular
No, maybe you
listeners.
did have a doppelganger. The guy who was on the front page of
the back pages of the BT phone book.
That's hilarious.
That freaked me out. Still does. If you see an old phone book around with a painter and decorator on the back, every time I saw it, I did a double take and I thought, what am I doing on there? Oh, I don't remember doing an advert for the beach thing on the. Anyway,
Weird
no,
thing is you can't
I've got an American one.
Oh, yeah.
Rhod Gilbert is a Canadian ice hockey player, massive. I think he played for the New York Rangers or something. One of the most. He's the Joe DiMaggio of the New York Rangers kind of thing. And I went when I did the Montreal Comedy Festival, of course, French-speaking Montreal Comedy Festival. I was introduced on stage as Rhod Gilbert, and the crowd went berserk.
Oh no! Yeah,
and then out came a Welsh comedian who'd been doing it for 2 years on the London circuit.
Wow!
Out to entertain.
I know.
A bunch of people who were expecting their hero.
Yeah.
Ice hockey legend Rhod Gilbert. And if you look on Twitter, sorry to mention it again, there's no way around it. Rhod Gilbert is on Twitter. He's got all these followers and stuff, and people are constantly tweeting him saying, "Oh, I did enjoy you on 8 out of 10 Casters countdown last night." Tom, it's about time we had your feature. We've been bigging it up now for quite some time.
Well, I'm trying to get. I've got a collection of porcelain.
No, you haven't.
Horses, yeah. Well, I have.
I didn't even wait for you to finish the sentence of what it was that they were. I don't believe you when you say you've got a collection of porcelain anything.
Horses.
That is.
But you're right. I haven't. But I've got access to right.
What do you mean you've got? Oh, I see. I've got access to a collection.
We've sort of inherited.
We've all got access to a collection of porcelain horses, mate.
We've inherited. Well, this is the thing. We've inherited this bunch of porcelain horses, right?
Where did you inherit it from?
My granny.
Sorry to laugh at the.
No. That's
awful. I'm very sorry.
Absolutely fine.
I'm very sorry to hear about your granny.
That's absolutely fine.
But I'm very pleased she lived a wonderul and exciting life.
The thing is, right, these
and was able to pass on her collection.
She was, but the thing is, right, no one really wants them in anything. And I found out recently that the only reason they got them, it was a kind of a running joke with my granddad because he bought the first one back when they were a young couple.
Yeah.
And the only reason he bought it is because he'd broken it in a shop.
So you had to buy it?
So he had to buy it, yeah.
And
so it turned into a joke between them, so they just used to buy
a little ironic collection.
Yeah, before you know it, there's a shelf gone up.
Yeah.
Up lights.
Yeah.
And now there's a generation of going...
Did it become a proper collection? Or did they never lose sight of the irony and the spirit behind it?
They didn't tell us the irony. It just became... Because, this is when they were sort of 20, when they were courting, so they gathered them up then. And then 70 years later, when they both... shuffle off the mortal coil. They didn't pass on that it's actually a massive joke and they're not worth anything.
How did you find out?
My mum knew, but she'd kept it dumb. But so have you ever done that? Have you ever bought something only because
I've broken it in the shop?
Broken it, yeah.
No, I'm racking my brain. I don't think I have ever bought something just because I broke it. Is that your feature that you're launching today?
That's feature A.
I'm not convinced by it. I'll jot it down.
Jot it down, but
Have you ever bought a porcelain horse?
No. Obviously,
because you
when
broke
I say
it.
porcelain horse, I mean anything.
Oh, it could be anything. Yeah.
Yes, it could.
Okay.
Be anything, yeah.
Have you ever bought a porcelain horse / something else?
Yeah.
only because you've broken it.
Have you ever fall foul of that? If you break it, you pay for it.
I don't think
that you get in shop.
I'm gonna level. I've been doing this show a long time, Tom, and every now and again I'm caught out. Last week I thought what's the best micro emotion? What's the best micro emotion you've ever had? I thought that was going to take off. Nothing. The phones were silent. It was a nice day, which never helps because people are out and about and they can't be bothered to get in touch.
Having little feelings.
I thought it was a perfectly good feature. I thought things would be like, getting into bed, into clean sheets, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
that kind of. Let's not embarrass me again. It didn't work last week.
Okay, yeah.
Don't get involved. But I think yours. I think that's dead in the water. That one.
You always do. You always think they're dead in the water.
No, that is not true. That is not true. I'll give you another go. What's your second feature?
Well, the second feature is currently a doppelganger. So it sort of slipped in from before, really.
What is it specifically then?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was calling someone the other day. I was calling her Lucy. I was someone I'd known for a while. I always call her Lucy, and whoever I'm with normally tries to correct me by saying, by calling her Catherine. Her name's Catherine, but I kept calling her Lucy. I met someone last night who...
Hang on a minute. Let me clarify the situation.
Yeah, it's basically a real life Dave from Only Fools and Horses situation.
So you calling
the wrong name for ages.
Ages.
And never picking up that people are trying to correct you.
Right.
Straight away.
Right.
There's a guy I was...
Her name's Kate, and you call her Lucy all the time.
Yeah. There's a guy at a gig last night.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, 2 years.
How often do you see her?
Well, this is the problem.
Every week.
Every fortnight. So it's not,
Wow.
every month or something like that. It's not long enough to really gel when I'm corrected. So I just...
No, that you should be getting that. If I was corrected every 2 weeks for 2 years, you'd get that, sure.
Yeah, you would. Like if you had
That
a
would
piano
sink in
lesson or
after,
something.
I'd say after a year and a half, that should start to sink in, surely.
There was a guy at the gig I did last night.
So is that your second feature?
Yeah, well, when have you been wrong for something for ages? Or been mistaken for something for ages, and you've never really got... Like, there was a guy at work yesterday at the gig. The guy was from Hemel Hempstead, and I was talking about his accent, which is sort of North London, but drifting away from London accent.
Right.
But anyway, he said he used to work behind a bar, and his colleague used to come in every day and say, "G'day, mate. G'day, mate. G'day, mate." And after months and months and months, he said, "Why do you..." And he said, "I thought you were Australian." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm from Hemel Hempstead." But he doesn't sound Australian, but he's got a slight... But for ages, he'd just go, "Hello," when he said "G'day." He never...
So have you been mistaken and continued with your mistaken ways despite being corrected for a long time?
Yeah,
Is that your feature?
That's feature.
I'm not convinced by that one either. Let's have some music while you think of a feature C and fast. Now then, Tom Wrigglesworth this year. This is Rod's Coffee Morning. His features so far, which I'm going to check with Jack, our producer here. Have they thrown up anything? Nothing. He's got a forlorn look.
Slow burners. The pair.
Slow burners.
Slow burners.
Let's have a look through the papers. Just a light-hearted gamble through the papers. That's what this show's all about. Look, lots of things being stolen from sheds this week. Have you noticed that?
Oh, what's put that on?
I don't know, mate, but there's... who would do this? Who would do this? 2 tortoises. No, 4 tortoises. Sorry.
It's not tortoise tie.
I don't know. Is it a tortoise? No, well, it says tortoises here. Over 80 years old, all 4 of them, stolen from a shed. Is that a targeted thing, do you think? Is that stolen? That can't be stolen to order, can it? It can't be like somebody out there who
They might have been planning it for 70 years.
Sorry to laugh, it's not funny at all. This is in Maiden. It's awful. Who would do such a thing? If you've got them, come on, give them back.
Yeah.
That's my plea.
They might be trying to walk home.
Who would want 4...
Yeah,
four
that's right.
Very old... how old do tortoises live for?
If I was...
They live to be like 150, don't they, tortoises?
Ages, yeah.
Oh, so, so they're quite young, probably.
Oh, yeah, they got a whole life ahead of them.
They're prime, those tortoises. They're stolen to order. I want 4 young tortoises.
When you say young, how old?
Anything under 100. I'm talking about...
There's a shed down the road.
Hey, now then, this is what we were talking about.
There's also one of those leaf blowers. Do you want that? That's what you'd nick out of a shed, isn't it? What's
I
wrong
would
with
have
the
thought
barbecue?
you'd have the bike, the barbecue, the leaf blower, the rake, the hoe,
Yeah.
the shears, even if they're a bit rusty.
Yeah, oil them up.
And then you wouldn't go, oh, look, there's a few ageing tortoises down there. I'll have them as well.
Adolescent tortoises.
Stick them in my bag. Would you have
Maybe
them?
the thing is, you see, maybe they were nicking the lawnmower, but the tortoises had witnessed the crime.
You think they were
So they were
taken as
hostages?
hostages?
Yeah. In case they speak.
You say that, you're laughing. No, you say that. You say that with a little wry smirk on your face, thinking, oh, look at me. I'm so clever. I'm so clever, suggesting that a tortoise couldn't possibly witness a crime. That's the point you're making?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, if you had, like I have done, had a light-hearted gamble through the newspapers before the show, if you turned up before 5 to 11...
Central Line was down.
If you turned up on time, like I did, because it's in my own house and I have no choice.
Yeah.
I had a light-hearted look through the papers earlier, and there's a dog that is the main witness
to
absolutely
a conservatory damage.
No, in a murder trial, a dog is the main witness. So
This is in America, isn't it? Has to
no,
be.
I'm going to dig it out. No, I'm going to dig it out in a minute. But there's a dog who's the main witness, and they sort of ran loads of things past him. And if he reacted in a certain way,
So did they swear it? Did he have to put his paw?
I'm going to have to find it in a minute.
Put his paw on the Bible.
I don't think he did have to put his paw on the Bible, because I think the judge made a speech beforehand saying that we're not going to make him swear an oath and stuff because we're not confident that dogs have any faith in Christian
deities.
I'm not sure that dogs follow the monotheism of the Christian Church.
Okay.
So I don't think they did make him swear.
How
off.
reasonable.
You know what?
But they're going to let him sort of decide a massive legal decision.
No, he's not going to decide it. He's not the judge.
He was on the jury.
He's not the judge. He's just the main witness.
Some sort of zoo.
No, look at you. You're back to this point about you're back to your smug human superiority thing. Hamsters as witnesses. He's absolutely true. I think they haven't made him swear.
And this isn't in a George Orwell book.
No, and they haven't made him swear. I think they just thought he's got a trusting face. Why would he lie? This is from somebody called Carl. Location Ripon. Where's Ripon, Tom Wrigglesworth?
Yorkshire.
Oh,
I think so. There is a Ripon.
Is there? R-I-P-O-N.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to call a guy in the pub John. When I called him John, everyone said, "Hello, Dave," in an only fools and horses kind of way. This went on for about a year, as I thought that he must have been misnamed by someone else in the group due to the jokey quips. Of course, he eventually pointed out that he's called David. Hi, Rod. I've worked in a school for the last 9 years. One of the geography teachers has always called me Steve. I have never corrected her. Is it too late?
Is it?
That's
When
from
is it
Paul
too
in
late?
Whitchurch.
Yeah.
From Paul in Whitchurch. Is it too late? Surely you'd notice in the staff room and stuff that other people were calling you Paul. Surely you'd see your name on a... Don't you have your name on a door as a teacher? You'd see your name in places, wouldn't you?
Badges and...
Don't they have happy to help name badges in
Don't they
schools?
have on briefcases. Or is that just...
Briefcases, yeah, sewn into your socks.
Yeah, they should do.
Surely you know. That's amazing. 9 years. Let us know. That feature has taken off. I'm Captain Features. Tom Wrigglesworth
Jack's
suggested
running back
it.
from the printer as we speak.
Hi, Rod and Tom.
Oh, yeah.
My friend's son, Ethan, was doing work experience. The boss accidentally introduced him as Iwan to all the company. Ooh. So as not to embarrass the boss, he responded to the name Iwan all week and introduced himself as Iwan every time he met someone new. Enjoying the show, Karen in Nantymoyle. Would you do that? Would you?
I can imagine it
simpler at the
happening,
start of the week to surely just correct them. It wouldn't matter. Would you change your
there,
name?
A new job, your boss is there. Please welcome a new team member. Breathing.
But you'd go along with it. You'd go along with it, would you?
The organisation, Keith.
Hi, Rod. I'm listening to your show via the internet, but my laptop keeps overheating and cutting out as the fan is broken. Oh, I've overcome this issue by putting the laptop on the windowsill with the window open to help with keeping it cool. It's working really well, but it does mean all my neighbours are now having to listen to you as well. Hey, great. That's looked good on my radar figures.
Try.
We can go up to nearly 40 people.
Here's a top tip. You know those things that you get in
Tom
cooler.
You do know about things like this.
Yeah. You know, you get cooler bags in the summer. You know, like picnic.
A picnic
boxes.
cooler bag, yeah.
And you get those sort of slabs that you put in the freezer.
So what are you suggesting?
That he gets one of them, puts it under the laptop.
Put it under the... What about you put your laptop in the freezer for a few minutes?
Put your laptop in the freezer, yeah.
Is that wise?
Yeah. I mean, it's never ideal to run it without a fan, though. I would check his thermal settings ASAP.
You didn't expect this, Anna in Winchester, did you? That kind of advice.
Or to be called a man by me, by mistake.
Please
Apologies,
do not
Anna.
put your laptop in the freezer and then blame me. I don't know if you could put a laptop in the freezer.
You can.
I just said it for a laugh.
I went to the Gadget Show, right, a few years ago.
What, and there was a freezer laptop?
Yes, I mean, as unbelievable as a dog being a witness, this is exactly the same as that, right?
Yeah, you're quite
there
right.
was some
I should
real
laugh.
black belt geeks on this stand, right? And they were doing this, because the problem with computers, the reason they...
It's a nice phrase, black belt geeks, I like that.
Yeah, well, the reason that computers run at like a certain speed, like 2.3 gigahertz, whatever, isn't so much to do with the silicon or whatever it is they're made of, it's to do with how...
I'm hanging in here, Tom, this better get interesting.
How cool you can
I've
keep
invested a lot of time in this sentence.
Heat is the enemy of computer chips, right? So they were pouring...
It's like kryptonite to computer
Yeah,
chips.
it is. So they were pouring liquid nitrogen onto a normal Intel processor.
People need to get out more.
It was steaming up like
They
a
needed
mad
to get out
scientist.
more. It's probably a lovely day outside the Earl's Court Exhibition Centre or wherever that was.
No, but we were all gripped by this guy who was pouring liquid nitrogen onto a computer chip, and it was running 10 times the speed as it could.
Wow.
Because it was being cooled so much.
So
It was
Anna
amazing.
in Winchester, what she needs to do is pour some liquid nitrogen onto the chip in the back of your computer.
No, also at this
Forget hanging out the window.
This was like the computer fair. It was a technology show, right? So it was all voice recognition and you know, movement control and all the rest of it, and people cooling down computer chips to get unruly speeds. One guy was selling drill bits.
Really? Really?
Yeah. It was like a proper salesman with a sort of Madonna mic. He was going, and this drill, it goes through tile, through wood, metal, brick.
And then he got a sponge out.
He was doing a roaring trade.
Got a sponge out, and then come back this afternoon where I'll be getting my cucumber chopper out.
It slices, it boils.
It slices egg, it slices onion. It's got the...
But where's the peel?
Tell you, your feature that I poo-pooed, I had my doubts about it, but it has, I have to say, Tom, you've done it again, old Captain Features. Captain Features, with his little F on his shirt, has come in, he's come up with the goods, ladies and gentlemen. This one isn't about your feature. Hi, Rod and guest, I haven't listened for a while, nor been in touch. I've just finished work for the day, and I'm driving home in my little sports car. I've nothing more to say.
What's
wrong?
That's the equivalent of when
it's in Mountain Ash.
When you phone in a phone vote on the TV. Don't know.
Yeah.
Indifferent.
Again, you need to get out more.
Brilliant.
Rod, this is on the subject of your names feature.
Oh yeah,
Captain Features. Rod, whilst in the Metropolitan Police, a new recruit joined our team. And mumbled an
morning officers.
He mumbled an introduction which we thought was Gary.
Right. Yeah.
After many months of working together, sharing danger and laughs together, Gary's confidence grew.
Gary,
and he spoke up to tell us that his name was Barry. The problem was we already had a Barry on the team. Therefore, the previous Gary was immediately dubbed Barry Gary to avoid confusion. I tell you what, our safety is in the hands of these people, Tom.
Yeah. Well, Barry Gary.
Our lives are in the hands of people like this. The Metropolitan Police.
Did you take a full statement, Barry Gary?
He was immediately dubbed Barry Gary to avoid confusion, a name which he bears to this day, 8 years later, even though the original Barry has long left the team. Rod and Tom. Oh, we once shared a jacuzzi and sauna with Rod in the Hilton Hotel in Cardiff. It was a Valentine's Day, and what was I doing on my own in the sauna on Valentine's Day?
A rose in your teeth.
Yeah. I decided to impress my girlfriend by competing with Rod on the comedy front by telling knock-knock jokes. Rod didn't come back with any jokes of his own. Maybe we can call in for the coffee morning on radio to have a joke off. From Stephen Ryan from Swansea, now living in Kingston and Thames. I'm sorry that I didn't join in your joke off. I didn't realise we were having one. I didn't realise it was happening. I was trying to have a romantic Valentine's Day on my own in a jacuzzi, if you don't mind. As usual. As a teenager, I worked as a barmaid I'm reading an email, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I thought you just gone into
I'm just gone into confessional mode.
A misty anecdote.
As a teenager, I worked as a barmaid in our local pub. Every day, the same crowd of local men would come in. Until one Sunday, I noticed that Al was missing. Oh. I asked the other locals where Al the bear was. Why isn't Al the bear in? They all looked at me blankly, until one piped up and said, Janie, haven't you noticed his French accent? His name was Albert. But for over a year, I thought he was Al the bear, as in Rupert the bear. Now then, I've got some... still having a light-hearted gamble through the papers, Tom.
Ooh. Throwback to the first hour.
Just this is more coffee morning, this really, but I hope you don't mind. Widower John Spencer says here turned 104 yesterday. Do you know what he put it down to?
Being a widower.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Quite rightly shot me a very, very...
No. He does say actually that he had a very good wife.
Oh, yeah, look, I'm completely wrong.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Take that back.
Yeah, well,
congratulations.
The main thing he puts it down to is having 2 daily bananas.
All right.
There we go. What do you make of that?
2 daily bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 bananas a day, he puts it down to. All that fuss this week about the 7 fruit and veg and all that thing. And
well, he's 2 ahead of the curve, isn't he?
He's 2 ahead of the curve.
Pun intended.
Hi, Rod. Steve Tinniswood here. I work for a local newspaper and once interviewed a chap called Arthur Robert Smith. I thought it was strange why he told me his middle name. I wrote the article calling him Arthur all the way through. The next day he phoned me and wasn't happy at all, asking why I'd put the wrong name in the paper. I said, sorry Arthur, I don't understand. My name is not Arthur, he replied. I said it was R for Robert Smith.
R for Robert. Why did he say that?
I have no idea. That's what I was thinking. I got to that and I thought, who are we laughing at here? What? Why would you say...
Where's the victim?
What? Why would you say my name is R for Robert Smith? What? Under what possible circumstances?
Yeah.
R for Robert. R for...
And when I was at work years ago, it was when emails had just started, and our email addresses were your first initial underscore your surname.
Oh, yes.
And
R underscore Gilbert,
yeah,
for
and
example.
there was a lad called, let's say, who's called Paul Smith, right? So his email address was Paul underscore Smith.
Yeah.
And I heard someone on the phone giving someone this guy's email address. So I said, well, he was on the phone, and I heard him say, well, he's busy now, but I'll give you his email address. It's P for Pete. No, sorry, it's P for Paul. Oh, but no, I might as well just use the word it's for.
Yeah.
P for Pete. Well, Paul.
Hi, Rod and Tom. Great show, says Duncan, rather sarcastically. I'm a doctor. God, doctors are just like saying it, don't they? Just because
They do, yeah.
Such a show-off.
You would, though.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yeah.
If I was a doctor, I'd be shouting it from the rooftops.
Yeah. Of your surgery.
I'd be standing on the rooftop with a stethoscope around my neck and a white coat. Great show. I'm a doctor and once had a patient whose daughter had a strange name, pronounced Y von Nee. Y von Nee. The nurse and myself were confused and asked the mother where the name was from. She happily told us she saw it in the newspaper and loved it. Still confused, we asked how to spell it. She then spelled out the name Yvonne, which is spelled Y von Nee.
Yeah.
Neither the nurse or myself could tell her that the name she loved was pronounced Yvonne. Pronounced very differently.
It's not Yvonne, I hate that name. I've always hated the name Yvonne.
That's from Duncan in Exeter. Can that be true? If your name is Yvonne, you've named a kid Yvonne, you can't say her name is Y Yvonne, and you've seen it in the news and you liked it so much you use Y Yvonne.
That's the same as that. What was the one we had before?
Siobhan, Sayoban.
Yeah, Sayoban,
Except that that was a young child who hadn't quite grasped the correct pronunciation of their name, which is, you know, we all make mistakes as children. Some of us make them as adults. Not me or thee. Some people. I was just about to start reading an email that I just read a minute ago. Talking of some of us make mistakes. Just about to read. Literally. Hi Rod, Steve Tinniswood here. I work for a local newspaper and once interviewed a chap called Arthur Robert Smith.
Arthur Robert Smith.
I still don't understand that one.
Because Robert Smith, of course, is Robert Smith.
Robert Smith is Robert Smith of the Cure. Yeah.
So I wondered if he was...
I doubt if it was him, was it?
Did he have crazy black hair? And
he says he works for a local newspaper. He once interviewed a chap. Maybe he did. Maybe he was interviewed about the Cure, the latest tour. And he said, of course, Cure frontman, Arthur. And if you enjoyed that one, listen to the whole show. Rhod Gilbert live on Saturday mornings, BBC Radio Wales, 11 till 1.